barakatuh. And Ramadan Mubarak to all. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. This is ayah number 18 from Surah Al-Hashr, Surah 59 of the Quran, and the translation is as follows. O you who believe, fear Allah and let every soul look to what He has sent forth for the morrow. Yea, fear Allah, for Allah is well acquainted with all that ye do. Now the fear of Allah is the fear of offending Him. And first of all, this ayah starts with, O ye who believe. It is addressed to believers. People like us who believe that there is one God, Allah, who created everything, who owns everything, who we are accountable to. And we believe in His prophets who were sent down to us to give guidance from Adam until Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Muhammad, who was the last and final prophet and gave us the Quran as our guide. We believe in all the books that came before. We believe in the angels, and we believe in the last day, the judgment to come. And this fear that this ayah is referring to is the fear of disappointing Allah and displeasing Him. And we have to remember that when all of us have to die one day, when we all die, we know that we believe that we have to face a judgment. And when this judgment comes to us, we know there's two choices, either Jahannam or Jannah. Jahannam, which is the hellfire, or Jannah, which is paradise. When we die, we cannot carry the wealth that we accumulate here. We cannot carry our house, our money, our property, anything. All we can carry will be our deeds or our records of what we did and what we said and our thoughts on this life. It's being recorded by Allah. So Allah tells us in the Quran, in Surah Al-Imran, ayah 185, that every soul shall have a taste of death, and only on the day of judgment shall ye be paid your full recompense. So we know, as believers, we believe that the soul does not die. But Allah tells us in this ayah, every soul shall have a taste of death. When the soul leaves the body, that is where it gets a taste of death. But then we will have to face this judgment. What will benefit this soul will only be the good deeds that we accumulate in this life. And how do we go about doing this? We have to remember that everything that is done is being recorded. As human beings, we know we have this instinct that if we are driving on the road, we see police, we will drive within the speed limit, we will obey all the traffic regulations and so on. And in that way, we will follow the rules. Same way, if we acquire the taqwa, the consciousness that Allah is aware of everything that we do, which we do our fasting during Ramadan in order to build on our taqwa. When we know that we are being monitored for every waking moment of our life, then we will remember to try and do what is right and do the things that will benefit us in the next life. When we go about this life doing whatever we feel to do and not concentrating on what will be pleasing to Allah, then we could accumulate a lot of sins, a lot of punishment, which we wouldn't want when that time comes. There is no, I'm sure all believers have it in their heart, all sane believers, that they want to end up in Jannah. But this doesn't come just like that. We have to earn it. We have to do the things that would please Allah and continue going through our lives. So I hope that He will forgive us for whatever mistakes we make and grant us the rewards for the good that we do. Now, a simple act that I would like to encourage myself and everyone to pick up the habit of. Everything you go to do, just remember to say Bismillah. And by saying Bismillah, the thought of Allah will come into your mind and make you do what is right. If someone says Bismillah, will he go and steal something? Would a man take up a beer and say Bismillah and drink it? Would someone say Bismillah and then go and ill-treat his wife? Would somebody say Bismillah and go to work, and when the boss is not watching, he's hiding and dodging from the work? And would an employer say Bismillah and short pay his workers? Anything you want to do, anything you want to do, just get the habit of saying Bismillah, and you would find it will bring the thought of Allah in your mind all the time, and it will encourage you to go on the right track. This is a simple act, but once you pick up the habit, saying Bismillah, it will help you to remember when time comes for Salah. You would feel guilty when you do not pray. When you go to calculate the zakah and you say, well, look, let me see if I could cheat a little bit and pay a little less. It might be in your thoughts. But if you say Bismillah and you sit down to calculate it, you will make sure and calculate it correct, and you maybe pay a little more. So this simple habit of just saying Bismillah would be able to help us with this ayah in sending forth for tomorrow, which is the judgment, sending forth good deeds. And the more good deeds we can accumulate, we know it will be beneficial to us. Right? There's so many little things you can do. You don't have to have plenty money to give charity. You can help with your physical service. You can help remove an obstacle from the roadway. Our Rasul said, a smile is a charity. A man taking food and putting it in, feeding his wife with it is charity. Earning halal income, making sure that your income is halal, and making sure that you treat well with your neighbors, taking care of the environment. Right? Simple thing like throwing rubbish in the road. You eat something and you pelt the wrapper out in the road. A simple thing like that could give you a sin. Right? Doing the right things is easy. All it takes is the habit. And if you go to say Bismillah, would you go and do something that would like go and just destroy the environment, go and throw rubbish all over the place, right? Do things that would cause people harm, right? Ill-treat your neighbors, ill-treat your relatives, ill-treat your Jama members, right? People who are in your care, like people who work for you. Will you try and outsmart them, treat them bad, when you know Allah is watching and you say Bismillah, pick up the habit? So this is my little simple advice, that referring back to the ayah, Allah is addressing us as believers, that look at what you are sending forth for tomorrow. Make sure what you are sending will be beneficial to you. Right? So I remind myself and all of us that this Ramadan is for building taqwa. Just as we know when we are in a room by ourselves, We wouldn't take the chance and say, well, I'm hungry, let me eat something, because nobody's seeing. We have the consciousness that Allah is seeing, Allah is recording it. So this training from the Ramadan is supposed to train us so that outside of Ramadan and wherever we are, we know that Allah is aware and witnessing everything that we do. So this will help us to build the things that we can send forth for tomorrow that will benefit us and help us to end up in the paradise which Allah has prepared for the believers, and keep us as far away from the fire, because none of us would really want to get into that fire, because as it was described as being about 60 times the intensity of fire in this world. We can't imagine that, right? Allah has promised us gardens which no man could imagine and describe, right? This is what we want. This is what we have to work for. And the little time we spend in this life, all we have to do is try and get the knowledge of what Allah wants us to do and what He wants us to stay away from. And we do that, follow it, and we will be in a better position when we die. This is what we all working for. This is what this life is, a short time. You could live here for 60 years, 80 years, 40 years, whatever. We don't know. Nobody knows how long we are here for. But the main thing is, as this ayah tells us, look at what you are sending forth for tomorrow. Right? So, with this short message, I'd say, in Ramadan Mubarak to all. And remember to keep safe. We are facing a pandemic. Let's all remember we have to follow instructions in order to keep ourselves healthy and safe and protect each other. So with this message, I'll say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.